The NHL it's a fast game. There's a lot of traps on the ice. And if you kind of get behind the 8 ball, it's very hard to recover. When you're growing up, if you're an elite player, you're probably better than almost everybody on the ice in almost every category. Well, as you get older and now you're at the pinnacle or you're at the NHL, now you got to start thinking, how many tools do I really have over these guys? And you got to play a smarter game sometimes. Everybody's dangerous all the time.
The Dad's Trip, well, it actually began yesterday. It continues today. It will continue the entire week leading up to a game Friday night in New Jersey. But first things first, an opportunity to get ready to take on the mighty Metropolitan Division Washington Capitals, and the Leafs road trip looking to extend their success as they hope to win their 6th consecutive game here tonight.
For my kids, I always knew that when I had a family that they would play the sport. Honestly, I knew it. Ironically, when Connor first got on the ice, I remember him on all fours, not wanting to skate, not wanting to do anything.
I actually didn't like it at first because my skates were too narrow, so my feet always hurt. So like every early memory is my dad, he'd put me on top of the net and retie my skates.
The one thing that separated Connor from a lot of his peers was he was always a student of the game, doing more on his own, away from the game, on the driveway shooting pucks. In fact, the joke in the house is that every time I wanted my kids to do chores, their excuse for not doing it was, I'm gonna go shoot pucks, and I would let them go shoot pucks.
When I would shoot, I thought I was Joe Sakic. When I would skate, I'd pretend like I was Pavel Bure. As a kid, you always want to be a star. You don't pick out the third, fourth line guys. You like the guys at the time that were good with the puck.
The NHL, it's almost an impossibility. You have a better chance of being a brain surgeon statistically than you do a hockey player. But I always felt like, why not and why can't it be you? Why can't it be you?
The Leafs ride a 5-game win streak into the U.S. Capitol, where they hope to end a 6-game losing skid at Verizon Center against Alexander Ovechkin and the Capitals.
It's like you almost have to pinch yourself every day. He's playing in the best league in the world. When I watch him, I remember all those moments, just kind of going through and reflecting back on times when we shared as a father or son on a trip, and now you see him at this level. You're a little bit more nervous because the stakes are higher.
Nick Baxter back to Oshie, and Anderson stops that and holds on.
Out in center ice, carrying on as Hyman drops pass, shot by Brown, scores! Connor Brown snaps it over the shoulder of Holtby. Laying it towards the net, but it's off the mark wide. Carrick on the near side, breaks the stick on the centering pass. Gauthier scores! The changeup from the broken stick of Connor Carrick rolled to the front of the net. Let's go, boys! Let's go! Let's go, boys! Let's go!
I definitely got an opportunity quicker than most. Most 5th-round picks don't get 27 minutes and 5 preseason games to prove themselves and then make the roster out of camp. I kind of had some blind confidence. I was playing really good hockey. I was feeling the puck well. I was moving well. I maybe had things a little handed to me that first year. It was a huge honor for one. Looking back, I was super grateful to the people who gave me my first chance. At the same time, I remember kind of like the faults of that group. I remember on the free agency day when they dropped like whatever it was on their blue line for Niskanen and Orpik, and it was pretty obvious where all of a sudden I was going to be, and my goal changed to, okay, it looks like you're going to be in the minors. Let's go grind it out there and build your game and kind of earn it.
we had an opportunity to get a second pick, and in our opinion, with the scouting staff of an A prospect in Carrick.
I think the original plan was the Marlies were playing like a Tuesday morning school game, like the 10 a.m. game. So the plan was pack up, I'd have an afternoon flight on Monday, and then I'd play in the game on Tuesday. Went to bed, had an alarm set, and I woke up to I think I literally had 30 missed phone calls. And they ended up getting a hold of us. We woke up and they said, hey, change of plans. You're gonna play tonight against Tampa at home. We changed your flight's in Philly, you gotta roll. Coming into the rink, it felt like one of those spring tournaments where you show up and, you know, you're from Chicago and that guy's from Detroit, and it was kind of, you know, hi, I'm Connor Carrick. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, I just came over from Washington. All right, yeah, you know, try and tell me when you're open tonight, kind of thing.
So we're underway here in Toronto. 6 players, or 7 players rather, making their Maple Leaf debut. Connor Carrick picks it up, acquired from Washington in that deal yesterday.
My goal was to show the Leafs that I can be a competent NHL hockey player when I was there. I knew with the Marlies, I'd play in the American League a lot. Much more familiar with the players, very aware of what I could get away with and what not. My goal was kind of show them the Leafs my ceiling, I guess, how I, you know, could really show up in a playoff series, and I've always taken great pride in being a good playoff player and a good big game player. I was proud of my summer. I worked really hard. My body was right, my mind was right. I was excited to play. I was pretty happy with my camp for the most part. I was pretty happy with my start. You know, I knew I'd be in a battle. I knew there were, you know, X amount of contracts, X amount of players that had been there.
He's in a tough spot. He knows he can do more. He wants to do more. He wants to be inserted in more situations. So he needed to tighten up his defense. And on top of that, who's behind him waiting to take his spot, right? That's because that's the world he lives in.
15 seconds remaining in the power play.
Matthews working out of the corner. Now back into the centering pass, scores! Holy mackerel, what a play by Austin Matthews! And Leo Komarov gets the goal, but the artistry of 34 is very much on display.
And Washington back to work. Niskanen across. Tie game. With 9 minutes left in the third.
Swatted to neutral ice. A chance for Marner. He's in alone. Marner rolls it in. Scores! Mitch Marner breaks the tie with a beautiful little move.
Carlson's out. Up ahead. Kuznetsov breaking in. Swinging at the shot center. Scores. Eating time again. And they'll play for another point as we head to overtime. John Carlson, now the lone defenseman, comes off the board, centers, scores. Just like that, Ovechkin wins it for the Caps.
You know, we weren't very good defensively. We didn't skate like we can and didn't play like we could. So they scored 2 goals in the third period on total D-zone breakdowns, where all we got to do is stop and talk to one another and execute. So to me, it has to do with just doing your job, and we weren't good enough.
I think it's very unique how pros think about themselves within the game and how they actually prepare themselves every day. And I really think it's a mindset of I'm never happy with where I'm at. What Connor's always done is, you know, whether it's his skates, his equipment, his training, studying other players and watching them play, drove him to do more, always.
You got to climb and make a name for yourself in this league, and a couple years later now, you're more accepting of what that really takes in terms of the plays you've got to make and when and how consistently.
The Leafs and the Devils in the first of games on back-to-back nights for both these clubs. Joe, big game for the Maple Leafs, obviously 5-0-1 in their last 6 games, and something to prove after a disappointing end of a game in Washington.
The bottom line is they got a point on the road, and that point means that they're just 2 points back of the Boston Bruins with a boatload of games in hand. So now let's keep the point streak going and see what happens here tonight, because you know what? The whole attitude and the whole perspective is changing almost overnight.
Set to go here tonight, the Leafs and the New Jersey Devils. It is great to have you with us wherever you're looking in on this Friday night.
Bozak weaving in on the left wing side to Kadri, back into the slot, it goes to Zaitsev, one-timer on the far side, rebound, scores! Nazem Kadri!
Leafs on the power play and a chance to add to an already commanding lead.
Zaitsev to the far side to Marner, a tip in front, rebound, scores! Make it 4! Tyler Bozak off to the near post, taps it in behind Kincaid, and it's 4-0 Toronto.
Zacha has got some room, and then runs into Connor Carrick, who did a nice job. In the corner, but he gets it up and ahead, scurrying back the other way is Wood. He comes in on goal, backhand shot, knocked away, rebound in front, that was saved by Carrick. Loose puck in front, another chance, here's Henrique, puck is still loose.
The thing that's funny is as a hockey player, you always think you're ready, you know, and maybe at 19, maybe I wasn't the most ready at that time for what was asked of me. You mature as a defenseman, you understand there's certain areas of the ice there where it's okay to take risk, otherwise, you know, the other place of the ice, it's simply not worth it. You know, the years had some ups and downs. You know, no question. Usually I've had pretty good second halves, you know, so, you know, it's time to get rolling.
Some happy dads for sure, and as they should be. I mean, the Leafs got that great lead. It's another 2 points on the road for this Maple Leaf team.
It's been amazing. The Maple Leafs organization and everyone involved in this has just been unbelievably great the whole week. And the dads are awesome. We've had a great time. And it is sort of like we're back on the road. Listening to their stories, listening to some of their woes and successes along the way, exchanging stories, it's been awesome.
Given the sacrifices your family's made, how good is this to have them come here and enjoy all of this?
It's awesome. It's as a kid, you want to be able to give experiences back to your dad. He's given me so much, and you know, I don't think I'll ever come close to evening, you know, the ledger, so to speak. It's just another hockey experience that we get to have with each other. And last one. Ready? 1, 2, and perfect. Thank you.